I understand when people say, but you need the ego, you need the rush, you need the energy, because otherwise, and that is exactly the essence of things. You need to ask yourself the question, if you need the anger, the rush, the ego to push for things, are you trying to reach out for the right objective? I don't know. People could say, yeah, it's important because there's a whole rationale, right? So yeah, I need to make a career, therefore I need to sell more vacuum cleaners. But in order to sell more vacuum cleaners, I need to be more aggressive with the people that work with me, who go door to door, put the foot in the door, etc. And they basically chase their sales representatives in the market. But at the end, you need to ask yourself, what am I doing? Is that what I'm contributing to? Is that really something that is contributing to the better of mankind, to improve the world, to have some other type of goal than just purely commercial? So when I started out asking myself those questions, I felt that maybe I should also change direction. The obvious, if you are an arms salesman selling guns and tanks and God knows what, then it's the obvious. But is it so obvious if you work in let's say in a petrol or an oil and gas environment? Or is it so obvious if you work in a car manufacturer? You have to ask yourself certain questions. When I get that realization, I decided that I only wanted to work in an environment where there was space for improvement for a company. I don't have anything against efficiency. I don't have anything against companies and people making money. I like to increase the efficiency of electricity companies or even the efficiency of an oil refinery, because at the end, even those margins make it still a better place. So there's always a way to justify why you are doing certain things. So the ego-driven side there is something that, yeah, if you really try, for example, to think what matters in life, you really have to get sick, or when a shock and awe event happens in your life, like someone you love dearly dies, then you start to think about what's the purpose of life, those type of existential questions. I think if people would dedicate more time without having their relatives or the loved one dying around them, but dedicate more time to think about those type of existential questions, I think, first of all, we would live in a better world for sure. No matter what your religion is, I think if everyone would think about that, what really the purpose of life, and think about those existential questions, I think that would be by itself beneficial. I always recommend also to people who work with me to do a bit of a retreat for a couple of days in complete silence and just think about purpose of life, things that you are grateful for, things that you have experienced, lessons learned over a period of time. Actually, I recommend people to do it every day, at least a couple of moments. But yeah, I also appreciate the world we live in, so you cannot really ask that from everyone to do every day. But those type of things are really helpful.
Yeah. What are some of those practices? So you spoke about spending time in silence, but what are some of those practices that helps you maintain that balance? But also, like in the day-to-day, when things get busy, when things get stressful, to not lose that. What are some of those practices that helps you keep that rhythm going?
Yeah, okay. It may sound boring, but I meditate. I do that 2 times. I try to do that 2 times a day, in the morning early and in the evening before I turn to sleep. And I don't say that I'm completely balanced, because I also have my days that it's beyond my capability to deal with it. But then I accept it. and just press on, because then I think I do what I can and I work on it and try to get it done. But sometimes events happen, also unexpected events, which basically prevent you from staying calm, because it's easy to stay calm in a very calm environment where there is no pressure, etc., etc. If you live in a pressure cooker, how do you do that? At the end, it's always about reflection and the ability to see how unimportant you really are at the end. If you think you are critical in a process or critical to the world, that's not really true. Because guess what? If you get ill or if you fall dead, then the world keeps on turning and the business that you work on keeps on working miraculously. If I'm going on holiday, which sometimes I do, I used to always have my phone on and my emails on, and only the last 2-3 years, I have re-educated myself in not doing that. So I'm available even if I'm on leave. 1 day a week, people can call me, they can send me emails and stuff, and then I will reply. But the rest of the week, guys, it's up to you. And that's freeing. But at the end, I think meditation, contemplation, or if you are a religious praying, simple praying in the morning, praying in the evening. Practice that all conservative Christians used to do. They used to pray when they woke up, and they used to pray when they went to bed. And one could argue, yeah, but that was for those people that still believed in God the way it was back in those years. But actually, from a health perspective, it's also good to start your day contemplating on your day and closing your day off being grateful or even complaining about your day, but still have an outlet, and then go to sleep. You have a good 6 hours, 7 hours sleep, or 8 hours for some. And that's fine. That's how it worked for me. Not sure for others, but surely that worked for me.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And it's not boring. As you said, it's not boring. I think what a lot of people get wrong about silence or meditation is it's taking away you from productive work. And I think the real value of spending time alone is when you are in the heat of the moment, when you are under pressure. Can you be present at that point of time? I think the real value of meditation is how it impacts the rest of your day. Not about those 15 minutes or 30 minutes that you're sitting in silence, but what it adds for you for that deeper wisdom or deeper knowing of what motivates you, what impact that you want to create, what matters to you. But then also it allows you to stay centered, stay balanced in the rest of the day. And believe it or not, I have gone through a similar journey. I wouldn't have believed it if somebody had told me 10 years ago. But sometimes slowing down and being present can allow you to do or get more things done or increase your productivity, because now you are not in a hurry that you are making all the mistakes or you are making all the wrong choices. You are there in the moment and you can see very clearly. And then instead of beating around the bush, you can sometimes directly ask a simple question which can go 10 level deeps, rather than engaging in a conversation, a conflict, an argument without making headway. So thank you for adding that. I think I almost recommend silence as well as meditation to everybody I work with to build that presence, because without presence, I think you don't have a choice. You are just driven by your patterns, your habits. Many of those are unconscious. And I think one of the key aspects of leadership is to be choiceful in what you're doing.